Yeah, yeah, yeah. So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge, they don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like, wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hello, everyone. It is Pam Esquire, also known as Your Law Intellect. Listen, welcome to everyone that is here already. Of course, we give people a little bit more time to come in. Make sure you hit that like button as soon as you come in. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. We are on our way to 10K. All thanks to each and every one of you guys. So make sure you subscribe if you enjoy our content. If you like our community we have over here, if you like interacting in our chat, if you like giving your opinion on the panel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button so that you won't miss out on any of our content. So yeah, now that we have all of those preliminaries out of the way, you guys know what we're here for. We were here last night because we got wind that Shirley Strawberry from the Steve Harvey Morning Show was going to do a strawberry letter. I mean, once these jail calls that we have been dropping for the last couple of weeks, once those jail calls started dropping, I guess they felt the need to do some explaining. Shirley felt like she had some explaining to do. Now, honestly, for me, it just felt like it confirmed a lot of what we knew already. We went over the documents over here, despite what Steve Harvey said, and we'll get into that. We've been following this since for the last 3-4 months. So it wasn't just because of the jail calls, that just became a part of what we were doing over here. But we've been following the cases. We've watched the hearings. We've been going over the documents. So we have definitely been following Ernest Williams long before we knew any of these alleged rumors related to Steve Harvey. But you guys are going to know what I'm talking about in a minute. So I've been looking at some of your comments, and they're very interesting. We have some people that said, "Oh, Pam, after I heard her strawberry letter, I really felt sorry for her." And then we had some people that's like, yeah, she could have kept all that. She could have kept it. I'm somewhere, more towards the you could have kept it. I'm going to be perfectly honest. And the reason being is that apology she gave, it seemed more Steve Harvey based. And I feel like people such as her daughter, in my opinion, deserved the apology because the things, and I'm going to go over what was said about Steve Harvey on the audio, and I just don't think it was that deep to garner an apology. So we're going to get into it. I know that it is 8:30, so many of you guys have already probably seen this video. I watched it before I play this audio. So it came on at 8:04 Eastern Standard Time. And when I tell you they milked that thing to the max, they milked it to the max. So it came on at 8:04. She talked for like 6 minutes. Then you hear the music to exit. Then it was 50,000 commercials. Then they played a couple of songs. Then it came back for a minute and a half. Then they said, "We'll be back." Then Steve decided, "Oh, well, I'm going to tell my story too." So then we're going to come back again after 10 minutes worth of, it was awful. If you watched it live on the radio, I was like, I really have been sitting in this car for 2 hours because I'm trying to make sure that I hear everything. I think that was whack, Steve. But I get it. You guys probably haven't had this type of audience in a long time. So you use this as a way to capitalize. I get it. But I wasn't very happy. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't very happy about it. But the advertisers, they definitely got their money worth. Their money's worth today. If they didn't get their money's worth before, they definitely got their their money's worth today. Cynthia said it was total buffoonery. Yes, he was milking that thing. He said whatever. He said you want your minutes back. Chat, it was awful. And then so I'm gonna play the clear video that I think that has been going around. I actually do have snippets of everything because how it started out was Steve basically, people probably wonder, well, Steve, why are you being so quick to let Shirley tell her business, but when you got all these rumors, you're not saying anything about yourself, which was, I think, a justified question. And so he started out to let people know that essentially, when it comes to the stuff with Shirley, it's not gossip or rumors, it's the truth. Shirley said what was said. You can't deny it because it's on the audio. But so he was alluding that his is rumor, so he really doesn't talk about that. But because it wasn't like sensationalized gossip, that's the reason why that he decided that it was okay to put her business out there. So I'm going to play this real quick and I'm going to put the link up later, but we got to revisit some things because the way she was talking, let me not get ahead of myself. Let me just go ahead and play this. This is the clear version. So you guys remember what I said. If you watched it live on the radio, it was literally snippets every 6 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 minutes. Well, that's how it was where I'm at. And actually, on our radio station, there was a part where Steve was talking about his wife. They played the music almost through the whole thing. So I only got like a minute of that when I recorded it because they didn't even turn the music off to let him talk. But then I had some people that I was talking to in the DMs while we were listening to it. And they were saying that they did cut it off on their end. Because I think Cupcake said they cut it off on her end, but they ain't cut it off on my end. So I didn't hear the stuff he was saying about Marjorie. I'm sure I could live without it. I'm sure that my life will be just fine if I never hear it. But that's the part that I didn't hear. But this is what our girl Shirley had to say in her own letter.
And recently,
Hold on one second.
All right, Steve, I'm going to just start by saying that my estranged husband is in jail. He's been in jail for over a year since about right after the 4th of July of 2022. And recently, some phone calls from last year between he and I were leaked. And on those calls, you hear me saying you were winded going up the stairs at your home. And Marjorie looks at us as the help. And right here and now, I want to apologize to you and Marjorie for what I said. As much as I wish I could, I can't take it back. I can't. I said it, and I want to apologize. It was definitely not me trying to add to what you and Marjorie already have going on in your lives right now. But the fact that these tapes were released, it does seem like everyone is coming for you, I should say, at this time, including me. But in reality, the tapes have nothing to do with what you and Marjorie have going on. It was just me running my mouth in a private conversation, or what I thought was a private conversation. And again, I apologize. I feel terrible. I make no excuses. I said what I said, and there's no denying it. There's no taking it back. Back then, when the phone calls happened, I was trying to stand by my man, be supportive wife. I'd been married to this man for 8 years. I had no idea that all this was going on with him. I had no idea. And the charges that he's facing are horrific. They are really bad. I for sure did not want your name mentioned in any kind of way associated with my mess. So I had to call you. I had to tell you it was a hard call for me to make. But I called you. And I want to clear something up, Steve. You did not introduce me to him. I met him through a friend. I should say an ex-friend now. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. I had to tell you, he was in jail. It was going to come out. I didn't want you to hear it from anyone else. I wanted you to hear it from me because I knew once the police and everyone, got involved, and they were already involved, and they found out who his wife was and who she worked with and all of that, and that's you, Steve Harvey, it would become, a real big story because it's your name. And like I told you, Steve, when I called you, I didn't want to call you. I mean, I was embarrassed. I was hurt. I felt so stupid, and, I felt betrayed, humiliated. It was just terrible. I mean, I kept saying to myself, how is this my life? Police and jail and all of this. It was just something that I didn't, I'd never experienced anything like this. The police came, they took my car. I was at the salon getting my hair done. They rolled up, took my car. I had to have my stylist take me home. I had to move in with friends. I lost my house. I lost everything. Oh, and I have to tell you this too. Like on the day, July 4th, we were having dinner with friends, and we were going to watch the fireworks after that. And so the fireworks didn't happen that night because it was like a terrible, terrible storm. So the fireworks got canceled. And when I look back, I see now that was kind of a metaphor for what was about to happen in my life. The thunderstorms were coming. They were coming. The next day was the last time I saw him. He was arrested the very, very next day. I didn't even know he was arrested. I couldn't get in touch with him. I got a call from the jail, and, I didn't answer it because I'm like, who would be calling me from jail? I looked at my phone like, jail? Where'd this call? It just didn't compute. So I just ignored it. But he got word to me through one of his friends. They texted me that he was at Fulton County Jail. So the next time he called, I picked up, and that was him that had called earlier from jail. And, he told me what happened. I thought he would be getting out in a couple of days because that's what he told me. But of course, here we are a year later. Those days turned into weeks. The weeks turned into months. And like I said, this is just on and on every day. It's just something. And my life has just been a nightmare ever since. And it's still going on, Steve. I mean, I had no idea that those tapes would be released to the world. I knew that they were being recorded, but I didn't know that they were going to go out to the world. I mean, I was just trying to make conversation with him, trying to, just get him to think about something other than where he was. I was telling him about my day, this particular day, and that was the day we were talking about, on the phone when I said those things about you and the things that you heard and the world heard. And cut to today, I haven't spoken to him in quite some time. Divorce proceedings are underway. And Steve, at this point, all I could say is what I have is my faith. If it wasn't for God, I probably would have, lost my mind or something in this instance. People don't see what happens when these mics go off. Who wants their personal stuff, their private conversations to go out to public? No one wants that. I mean, what could I say to you after this, happened? I was devastated. I mean, absolutely devastated. I mean, I thought of everything, I could lose my job. How could I face you? Everything, what I'm going through is what I'm going through, and I've been going through it for over a year. I just haven't spoken about it. Then on top of all that, these tapes come out and, I'm talking about you and Marjorie, and you guys are going through your own private hell right now. You didn't need me to contribute to anything, and I thought back, because I knew I had to say something, speak on. You created this term years ago in Los Angeles called reality radio, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is about as real as it gets. Sure. And the reason I'm here before you now, I wanted to say it live on the radio, is because your name is in it. We've been friends for a long time, Steve, and these jail calls were made public, and I wanted to give you and Marjorie a public apology and to ask for your forgiveness publicly. I just wanted to have a real moment with you. And, I have to tell you, I've been coming to work every day because, it's my only safe haven right now. It gave me a place where I could still be myself and forget my troubles for a little while, and just, do my job. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you, of course, Steve, Tommy, Junior, and of course my girl Carla, for the space and the grace that you guys have shown me. This is a very difficult time in my life, is if you can imagine. I love you guys. We're family, and I thank you. And I just want to thank everyone. I'm just trying to live. I'm sorry for what you and your wife are going through right now in your life. And I hate your names were dragged into my drama because you certainly don't deserve it.
So that's what Shirley had to say. So I'm going to start by saying this. Now, when we were listening to some of the jail calls on the prior videos, if you guys are new over here, make sure you check them out. I said that a lot of the audio was from September, October, November. So I was very vocal to say she may be done with them now because these are old. So this is maybe prior to her knowing, because a lot of his serious charges didn't happen until 2023. So I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. Then one of the jail calls actually, let me see if it's this one. It actually was Ernesto, and I think I played it before, where he couldn't get in touch with Shirley. So there was a point where it feels like she was probably distancing herself from him. But
yeah. Okay. You good?
Okay, wait a minute.
Did you call Shirley and see what's going on with her? She's not picking that phone up. I answered the text, so something must be wrong with her. Hear me? Yeah. Okay. You good? Yeah, I'm good. You say you talked to her yesterday. I don't know why she ain't picking the phone up. Yeah, I don't know what she got going on. She thought she was outside yesterday when she called. Do I need to add some money on this phone? Yeah. Just send me the old girl. She'll set it up for you. Why should be acting cheap as hell? Man, come on now. What you mean, come on now? I sent her the money. Should be weird. Okay, sir. Yeah, just check on, see what's going on. Tell her I've been trying to text you and text her back or call. So I've been calling her yesterday. She ain't answered the phone. I called today. She ain't answered. So something ain't right. She ain't got a phone or something.
He was so bold and arrogant that it had to be something wrong why she wouldn't answer the phone. It couldn't have been because she just wisened up just a tad bit. That wasn't it. But see, the reason why I'm skeptical about her saying I haven't talked to him in quite some time, because over here we also went over the documents. And when we went over these documents, there was an affidavit. And this affidavit was signed on June 24th of 2023. Sweetie, it's only September 11th. So the quite some time felt like an exaggeration. And let's go over what she said. She said, my name is Shirley Strawberry. I am over 21 years of age and I reside in Fulton County, Georgia. The facts of the declaration are based upon my personal knowledge. I am the wife of the defendant. My husband is the listed defendant, has the case number for Fulton Superior Court. I have been told that in one or more of the cases pending, so you knew it was more than one case based on this affidavit, that I have been identified as either a victim of his or witness to a purported criminal act of his, to which I respond that I am neither. It is my intention that the court know once and for all that I am not afraid of my husband, that I wish for him to be released with no conditions as regards to me, that I wish for him to be able to reside with me or wherever he elects to reside, and that his release be effectuated immediately. It is further my declaration that I have never made known to anyone at any time prior or since his arrest any desire contrary to that which is contained in this affidavit. You said this under oath. You said this under oath that as of June 24th of 2023, that you had not made it known to anyone at any time prior to or since his arrest your desire contrary to anything contained in this affidavit. That means that you want him in your house, you want him released immediately. And if a contrary understanding has been previously conveyed to this court or any other, they have been deceived. I have not been threatened, coerced, nor harassed in any way by any person to cause me to issue this declaration. I'm just saying, this is you under oath. This is what you said under oath. So maybe her substantial amount of time means different things to different people, but it's definitely not been a substantial amount of time, because you just issued this and wanted him to be in your house and mind you, in January is when the child depiction case, he was charged with that in January of 2023. This was in June. You said this under oath. So I'm going to assume that you were being honest when you said it under oath, because I'm assuming you know the difference between telling the truth and telling a lie. So let's just say that. So if she says I'm in the process of a divorce, that don't necessarily mean it's been filed. It could be you just contacted some lawyers and seen what was up and seen what their prices were. That was very vague. Now, I filed for divorce, he's been served. That's not what she said. You have to read what people say. So there's that. So that whole making it, I haven't been in contact him in substantial amount of time. Okay. Now, what I will say is the hearing that happened on August 22nd of 2023, the new attorney, who was a court appointed, so she is no longer, as of August, a new attorney, his retained attorney, I should say, withdrew. And a court appointed was now entered in. This was as of last month. And when he had the hearing, it wasn't like the hearing that we saw back in May, I think it was, or June, or whenever that hearing was. There was no mention of a wife. They said he has kids that reside in Fulton County. So I'm going to say, I'll go on a limb, this is some recent stuff, and it may be because of how this stuff has come out and us talking about it. But that's just my assumption. I'm just going by the paperwork. You know, I'm all about paperwork over here. So that's what I have to say about that. When it comes to Steve Harvey, and what she said about him, I personally don't believe that there was anything that was just that egregious that was said that she owed him an apology for. I just don't believe that. She said that he was winded going up the steps, so you out of shape. That's all she said. And she mentioned she mentioned Marjorie, and how she feels like Marjorie makes her feel like the help. Why are you apologizing for how you feel? That's how you feel. That's just like people that take, people respond differently to different things. It's things that may offend somebody else that doesn't offend me, and vice versa. But I can't negate or I can't discount how you feel and say you got to apologize to me for how I made you feel. Like, what is that all about? But I'm going to circle back to the whole Steve conversation, because Steve also made a comment that doesn't really jive with these tapes either. Because Steve made a comment that they all knew about this when it first happened. But we listened to the audio, and the audio lets us know, which is the same tape, I believe, about you being out of breath, when she called you and told you, because she told Ernesto. So he was arrested in July. Certainly you're not saying that you knew exactly when, as soon as it happened, when she didn't tell you till October. But here's that tape.
Did you call Shirley and see what's going on with? She's not picking that phone up.
Wrong one. Wait a minute. Sorry, guys. Let me see if this plays. Hold on. Hold on. Let me might have to pull it up another way. Cause I had to literally revisit this whole Steve Harvey what was allegedly said, because I didn't see anything that was that major about it so that she would have to give any type of an apology. Let me pull that. Hold on one second.
No, I just told Steve yesterday. Tosh was telling me I should tell him and all that stuff, and she was like, "Well, he's gonna want to know." I said, "Well, if I don't tell him, and he asks me, I'll just tell him, because I just couldn't talk about it. I just, I didn't know. I just didn't want to deal with it. I couldn't talk about it. He'll understand." So anyway, I just called him and I told him, and he was all right. He asked me if I needed anything, and I told him no, I was okay. I don't want to ask him for anything money wise, but thank you for offering, and if I do need something, I'll let him know. Oh, okay. Okay. So what do you have to say about the whole situation? He didn't have too much to say. He just said, find out everything that I could, and depending on the outcome, I got to start moving forward with my life. That's, and I said, yeah, I know. I'm going to start looking for a place on Monday. I mean, yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. So that means that he's saying that I'm guilty. That's basically saying. Well, no, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He just said that you gotta, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. You just gotta make sure you got your stuff together, and you still gotta move forward. That's all he said. He didn't say you were guilty. He didn't say any of that. Oh. I mean, he might feel that way, but that's not what he said. Oh. Okay. Okay. And I said it's okay. If the truth will come out, the truth will come out. Right. I mean, I've seen all that. I've seen your boss go through a lot of shit too. Still standing. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't being judgmental. He didn't judge or anything. Not to my face, anyway. I've never gone through anything like this before, ever. Ever. My name in the papers associated with crimes and all this kind of stuff. Your name in the paper? Put your name in the paper. I mean, not the papers, in the news. Okay? Where is that at? I ain't seen that. Oh, but okay, on Facebook last night, it was on their co-host of the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Her husband was arrested. Shirley Strawberry, co-host of the Steve Harvey Morning Show's husband was arrested for fraud or whatever.
Okay, so you say on Facebook. Facebook what?
What do you mean Facebook? I don't know. It was on Facebook. One of those shows. Somebody had it on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you saw it last night.
We saw it last night. It's on there.
Oh, is that it?
Come on, hon. Come on now.
No, I'm just trying to figure out if it's really out there. Cause get what? They got to retract all that.
Yes, it's really out there. My cousin in Chicago called me and said, she saw something on the internet. Is it true? Somebody else called me, said that it was in Maryland. It's out there. I think it was on. Somebody said it was on CNN. I don't know because I didn't see it on CNN. But my cousin called me out of the blue and said that it's out there in Chicago. So what I'm saying is that it's out there, and this is difficult. But I mean, I'm not dead or anything like that. But it is difficult. That's all I'm telling you. It is difficult. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying, it is what it is.
Well, I'm like I said, I'm good. I ain't mad. I got past the bad part. I ain't mad no more. That no more.
Yeah.
I ain't none of that no more. I see what's going on. They put me on TV. They trying to fish something. They ain't got shit. So it is what it is. You trying to put me with people that I don't even know nothing about. So what it is. I mean, it's simple. It's common sense. Anybody got some sense, they'll see that.
Well, people don't. You got to think about people that. There are a lot of haters out there in the world too. It's not common sense.
Yeah.
People want to see you fail. People want to see you go down. I only told Steve, and that's only because they said co-host of Steve Harvey Morning Show. They put his name in it.
Oh, that's why. Well, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, it's okay. Whatever. Even if I didn't do anything, it's still whatever.
Right.
I have a right to handle this how I handle it.
Now you do. You definitely do.
Yeah, it's a lot. If I don't feel like talking about it, I don't feel like talking about it. Period. I don't. I mean, there are enough people out there, I'm sure, that are running their mouths. It was all on my Instagram. I had to cut my Instagram off.
Damn, it was going that deep?
Are you kidding me? Yes.
Wow. So you had to cut it off.
Well, yeah, I had to turn the comments off and all of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you. Wow. Okay then. Well.
Yeah, because they were saying really horrible things
about me and you.
Just hurtful things. Yeah, very hurtful, very damaging. All of that. Just hurtful things. Very hurtful.
Wow.
Mean things.
Damn.
So I just cut it off.
Now, who showed you all that? Tosh?
Yeah, but I knew it was going to be on there. Yeah, Tosh found one because she was looking. I wasn't looking for it, but I knew they were on there. I already knew. Because that's what people do. They go to your social media and they comment,
Okay, so how your boss saying he ain't seen you in 3 years, so how you feel?
He saw me in Dubai, but yeah.
Okay, that's right. Okay,
he's fine. He just has a lot going on,
like everybody else.
Yeah. But when you got that kind
See what?
I said when you got that kind of money, it's a whole lot. A lot of people work for them,
Yeah.
A lot of people pulling at them,
Yeah, man. I can imagine that. I definitely can.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. I mean, but like you say, everybody has a lot going on their own level.
That is true.
His wind is going up those stairs.
He was getting winded?
Ooh, he was really out of breath.
For real?
Yeah.
What about them pills he's talking about you gonna get?
They weren't pills. It's like a superfood powder. It's not. I thought it was pills too. I wish it was, because it'd be easier to take. But this is like, sometimes I take those powders and put them in the blender with ice. That's what this is.
say it worked for him?
Yeah, he said it worked. He said it won't have any inflammation and all that. So my knees really hurt.
You gonna be able to walk up and down the stairs?
I do it every day, 10 times a day.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's better. I push myself. I make myself.
Okay, hey, guess what? That's why you snapped back then. Okay, all right then. I forgot about that. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I still have quick reflexes. Don't be fooled.
Okay.
Still have quick reflexes. Yes.
Okay, all right then. But then that's good. That's good. That's good.
You know what? They have Marjorie has her own spa, her own workout room, and her own spa. And she could go in there and get massages every day. People come to her house and and work her out and all of that. I was like, oh God, what a dream.
Does she look old though? Does she look like she's getting old?
No, I haven't seen her, but she looks good on her pictures.
Oh, she ain't there?
No, she's not there. If she was there, we probably wouldn't have been all over the house. But she's done it. No, he's scared.
Damn, sure right. Yeah, we said, he's scared. Yeah.
All of that. Yeah. Everything. I knew I wasn't supposed to be in there, but he brought us in, so I said, but I mean, I'm glad he did because it gives you a chance to dream. It's like, wow, have a sauna in your house, have a steam room, all the things that you go outside of the house to do. Not that, but things like that I would love to have inside, so I wouldn't have to go outside for those. Like get my hair done, get my nails done, get a massage. People come to you. Yeah. And then she gets in these little you've seen these chambers where people get in. Like remember they used to talk about Michael Jackson having that tube like thing he used to get in.
Yeah. Oh damn. Okay. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, she's got stuff like that in her spa, which is really cool.
What the chamber?
Yeah. I guess it helps your skin, stay tight, and it's light therapy, that ultraviolet light.
Damn.
It helps. I mean, they got, it's really cool the things that they have. It's like, man, I would love to have stuff like that. To be able, like for my knees, for example, just go in there, get a massage, get my knees worked on, all of that. They got all of that kind of stuff. Like she'll have a chiropractor come to the house. It's just really cool.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they so trying.
They got money. They got money.
But does he use that stuff, or he just look at it?
He got a big, gigantic gym, like huge, with all kinds of state-of-the-art equipment. I mean, I'm not working out, but at least I'm walking. I wasn't winded going up those stairs, I'll tell you that. He was breathing like,
for real?
yes.
Damn. But he got all that stairs and all that stuff in there doing all that.
Yeah, I was really surprised about that. Because when he walked up those stairs, he was very winded. Very winded.
But he smoked a cigarette too, though. See?
Yeah, he smokes cigars. And I don't know if he does cardio. I think he just lifts weights and stuff. I don't know if he does cardio. You got to do something for your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to do that now. Damn.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was very winded. So, last night when I got home, I came home about 4 something. I lied down from about 5 to 6 or something 6 to 7. And then I got up and walked. I was like, I don't want to be winded. And I'm 3 years older than he is.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I know he gave you a big ass hug. I know he did.
Yeah, he did. He was happy to see us.
Okay, all right, okay.
He always invites us over there. We don't have to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because I don't know if she's there, and she's nope.
Damn. Wow.
She looks at us as the help.
You did tell me that. That's not a good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And that's, it is what it is.
So my point of just playing this was that I didn't see it being that bad where you feel like you have to give a public apology, because if you're going to talk about the negative things that she said, she also said that Marjorie looks good in her pictures. She admired her house as a vision of her own. It wasn't all negative that she said about them. She also said Steve was happy to see her. They was happy to see each other. It wasn't all negative. So my point, and I see some people talking about like she doesn't owe people anything. If you feel the need, there is no way that some phone calls will come out, and I'm talking about my child, but it's more important to me to go make sure that my boss is okay instead of my child. Don't give nobody an apology, because to me, he really didn't need one. This is just my opinion. It just wasn't that deep to say he was winded. Steve was joking about that today when he was on there. But the things that were said about her daughter, like the last thing, I didn't even play it. I think I had it in the members only, but I didn't even play it because I was just like, dang. Like, I mean, there was information about um her kid's father and all type of stuff that she was saying about her daughter, and that she said it was. Thank you so much, Anise, for the super sticker. I appreciate it. The thing she said about her daughter to me was more Greek, because let's look at it. Now you just admitted, according to your strawberry letter, that he's being accused of some egregious type of crimes, some very serious crimes. You don't want to be with them no more. You said that you didn't know this at the time you were trying to stick by him. But in those earlier conversations, when you were talking about your daughter, you were saying like the daughter was almost being blamed. Well, I'm not going to say almost. There were conversations where she was being blamed for more charges being put on him. So how do you not? And I'm not. I know I have a daughter, so I know the contention that can happen between mother and daughter. I'm not the get. I wouldn't want some conversations. I'm sure that happen when if me and my daughter got some issues, and my daughter probably be talking about me sometimes. So I get that. I'm not negating that occurs, because it happens in that mother-daughter relationship. What I'm saying is the fact that it got out. Why isn't the daughter owed the same apology? It became all about Steve. It just was, to me, the thing said about the daughter, she only calls you when she wants her rent to be paid. I'm gonna start treating her like, looking at her like an enemy. All of that type stuff, that's hurtful stuff. That comes from your mother. And you're talking to this guy who's obviously not her father, who you just married and who she doesn't get along with. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to like spill. Yeah, she could have chose what she wanted to say, but it felt like to me, and I'm entitled to my opinion, it felt like it was just something where the structure of the show, one of the reasons why I don't watch the Steve Harvey Morning Show is I feel like everyone caters to what he wants. Yes, it's his show. They laugh at jokes that ain't funny. They kiki and kaka. Okay, Steve. All right, Uncle Steve. Like, they do things like that. And that's what it felt like, another repetition of that same behavior. So then when Steve gets on, he basically says that he blames it on the devil, that a lot of this stuff is occurring because what he's going through, like the timing. He even made, let me pull this up real quick. I think I have a snippet of that.
You just got to get brought up to speed. We're on the iHeart app. You can play it all day long. You can this whole interview. Shirley opened up with the apology to me and my wife, and I wanted to make you all aware of the times of it. My wife and me, we've been getting beat up for the past 2 weeks. But when when something like this happens, our motto has always been to never address bloggers.
Right.
And we don't give it no room or speak.
No life.
No, nothing. Because we know who we are and we know whose we are. And so we don't.
And somebody said, and it got too much music in the background, so I don't want no issues with this video. Somebody said maybe she apologized to her daughter in private. The intro that she said was, I'm sure she apologized to Steve. She said, I immediately called him. You apologized to Steve. This wasn't her first apology. What she said was, because it was said and it was out publicly, I am going to apologize publicly. How does anyone... This is a problem with a bunch of... Sometimes we just don't get it right. Let's just be clear. As parents, we don't always get it right. It is okay to apologize to your kids if they deserve that. I would never have my daughter feeling like somebody that's even if it's my boss and they have my livelihood, that's still my seed. I am going to be make sure that we're okay. I'm gonna say that could have been a one-liner. And I also said some terrible things about my daughter, so I just wanted to make sure I apologize that as well. You could have kept on about Steve and kept going on and on if you wanted to. It just, for us that heard the audio, many of us are of the opinion that more egregious things were said about your daughter than it was about Steve. That's it. It's not nothing more, nothing less. That's all. Yes. And then Steve did talk about the vloggers, said they're bottom feeders. And he made, this is an accusation that he made that just is not true, because he said, because of what he was going through, because these tapes are from October 2022, he said because of what he was going through, he said that this was just a way to pile on top of it, like the devil uses people. And so he he kind of alluded to somebody in Fulton County getting paid, and then vlogger getting paid and all that. It's public record. It is not that deep. It is not. We don't have to slip nobody in the prison system $1. It's literally public record. If you look on there, that is one of the drop downs. Do you want inmate phone calls? It is really not that deep. But to make it like everyone got it in some nefarious way is just not true. It's not true. And it was bad information that was reported to say that, in my opinion. But anyways, then he goes on to say, well, Steve said, well, I don't usually address anything, but I'm gonna address it now, because he said this is being hurtful with his wife has been going through it and she gets dragged in the mud. And so that's the segment part that I didn't really hear, except the end when he said she was there for him when he got his became the host of Family Feud and his book and the movie and all of that. And he was saying she's helped build what he has. So he kind of made it about his wife to make sure that she was okay. But he utilized, of course, it was probably a whole lot of viewers that was on there. That's been the talk since some people were streaming this while it was happening. Then you had people that came on all morning. People have talked about this. So he utilized that to say the rumor, whatever they're saying about his wife isn't true. So it turned into his situation, even though most of us tuned in to hear about Shirley's situation. And really, Shirley just apologized to him publicly. And that's pretty much all she did. And she did say, as you guys heard, that she's in the process, I guess, of getting a divorce. Right. I agree with that. It's not, because in our state, they don't necessarily keep it. They don't. And I said that before. They keep some recording. So say, for instance, the prosecutor says, listen, I want to keep all of Johnny's phone calls, preserve all of them. That now becomes public record, because I can go get somebody's prosecution file. They'll redact their personal impression, their work product, but I can go get, that is public record. I can literally go get your criminal file, And if that's a part of the criminal file or that was a part of your trial, I can get that. In Georgia, in those particular jails, it literally has on there that you can get the inmate calls. And as we heard from the call from yesterday, I believe, he knew at least by October that they were being recorded. And that's why I made the comment I made yesterday, like, well, why would you still allow her to be as free when you knew that these calls were being recorded, because you heard it when you went in for your bond hearing? They used the fact that he was talking to the young lady in Florida as a reason for saying it was a flight risk, or some of his conversation he said was twisted. And what the DA, every time Ernesto goes up for bond, the DA uses the same script, except last time he said, well, Judge, you're familiar with this case already, so I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. But for most of his bond hearings, they brought up the same cause about him allegedly saying that he was going to go out of state and go out the country. They used the same spiel. So he was aware of that. But yet and still, when I didn't like, and I said it before, in a lot of those calls, it felt like to me that he was gleeful that she was beefing with people, because a lot of people that mistreat you, they try to isolate you. You know, they'll try to isolate you. So you're beefing with it. Who you gonna turn to? That's how you get the Bonnie and Clyde, because it's like, I don't have nobody that I can turn to. You know, they try to isolate you, and that's how I felt started happening, because he was engaging, like, and what she say. You see, even on the conversation with Steve, what's the first thing he said? Well, what he had to say, he ain't seen you in 3 years. He don't believe me? You see what I'm saying? Like, the way he was talking, I seen what he was trying to do to her, you know, trying to put in her head in the beginning. Some are saying Shirley said before in the article how she met Nesto, it wasn't through Steve. She did say that. That's what I was saying. There was, when I first started reporting on this case, these cases that Ernesto has, I pulled up, if you look up, there was an essence spread. That's why I didn't know when they got married. They got married in 2015, but there was an essence spread in like 2018 or something. And they went through everything. And when they went through, it was like a picture. Then it would have like a blurb under the picture. And it said she met him through a friend. Steve Harvey's name wasn't mentioned, but I know that since then, a lot of people were in the chat and they were saying that's what they heard, that he's the one that introduced them. So she made sure she cleared that up. He said he cares about, it's her life. She basically says she don't have anything. So at this point, it just sounds like she's trying to salvage what she has. And you know what? If Steve's feelings was hurt about it and he acknowledged that, or Marjorie was hurt, maybe an apology was what was needed for them. But I'm just saying, in my opinion, if you're going to go on an apology tour, the worst things, because I didn't even play some of the stuff that she said about her daughter. So to me, it's like the things that you said, and then the fact that you told him, yeah, she went down there to talk to the police, and then he immediately said, that's where them charges came from. And then it was like the bandwagon of, I'm distancing myself and all of that. And I felt like he was setting it up, because he knew how this was gonna go. He knew when he told her yesterday, like I said in that audio, when she thought he was coming home because he got bond on October 31st-ish or whenever it was in October, he had some charges that didn't have bond on it. So you wasn't going anywhere anyway. But like she said, she acknowledged that days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, you know, and like I said, I don't think she wasn't well aware, and it really doesn't sound like she was trying to do due diligence. You know, some people you don't ask, you know, you can kind of bury your head in the sand. You know, if you don't ask questions, you just listen. I just listened to what he said instead of really looking into it to get information. Let's be clear, sometimes we do close our eyes, put our head under the covers, and we just hope it goes away. And maybe that's what she wasn't really trying to do her own investigation. We heard the emotion hearings. She's on the call asking about what happened. So I get it. She wasn't trying to be around like that because of her status. She does have a status. So she was trying to be incognito. They were trying to use her in court. They were using her initials until I think it was the judge just said her name. It's like, who, Strawberry? But they were trying to say SS. Like she was really trying to distance herself as much as possible. Now, Steve making it seem like these calls came out all because of what he's going through. A lot of us never reported on that alleged information that's out there on Steve Harvey because it was all rumor, like it was gossip. So I know I never, unless I see some divorce documents, I'm not going to talk about it. So it's not true. I've been following this case, for the last, 4 months or whenever we started following. I might be exaggerating, but last couple of months at least that we've been going over the documents and following when different things were filed and watching the motions, because that's what we do over here on this platform. So it's not true. Nobody just said, oh, let's put out some tapes because it's some rumors out here about Steve. It just really wasn't about him. It really wasn't. And I think it was like, how did you turn this into, oh, they did it because they used you. The devil used you to get to me. Sometimes people need to stop blaming everything on the devil. Sometimes it's not the devil, it's the decision. Now that's a word. In my opinion, they did this to try and save her job through iHeartRadio. His tone during this wasn't genuine. All right. Mm-mm-mm. Don't nobody hate Steven. How you hate people that you don't know? Nobody hates Steve and Shirley. We're just giving it's public knowledge, and everybody is kind of giving their opinion on what they see. So what do you want us to? We all heard the same stuff. Everyone has different opinions. There was some people that were in the chat, they heard her and they really felt bad for her. And I said that in the beginning. There were some people that really felt bad for Shirley and was like, dang, now that I heard what she had to say, that's their feelings. Everybody's entitled to feel how they feel about it. He's convinced her nobody loves her and they're only using her. She never stopped paying her daughter's rent. So there's that. That's true. That's just what I got. Okay. That's picking it up. It just felt like he would be excited. Remember in the audio when she was like, well, that's it. I don't want to really talk. When she was gonna stop talking about her daughter. And remember, he said, oh no, that's your life. That's your everyday life. Go ahead and talk about it. Why would you encourage that? And you know that these calls are being recorded. But you cut people off when your friend was like, yeah, oh boy, old girl called old girl in California and told her everything. You was like, oh, okay, don't talk about that. How do you cut people off about your personal life, but you allow her to put herself out here who is clearly not knowledgeable about the system? And now, yeah, she's thinking the calls are recorded, but I think she's thinking maybe they're recorded for purposes of the facility or the prosecutor or something. She's not thinking it's recorded, which means the public in some states, as somebody mentioned, has the right to get those audio. If Shirley's not prohibited by the restraining order, I agree she could have at least apologized to her daughter briefly. I wonder, like, I don't think she has a restraining order. Why would Shirley have a restraining order? I think she mentioned her daughter has one on her daughter had one, I don't know, on Ernesto. And I'm gonna keep saying what I'm gonna say and give my opinion. If anybody feels like I should leave it alone or whatever, they can leave. You're free to exit stage left. Everybody over here is entitled to their opinion. I'm not gonna tell anybody, leave it alone. Don't talk about it because I don't like what you saying. Like, nah. Yeah. Shirley kept saying, I know what y'all going through this Steve. I mean, I guess I took it more so of because they've been in the blogs the last 2 weeks, like Steve said. I mean, it could be deeper than that, but that's how I took it. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. I would again. If Steve deserved that, because I am pretty sure that Shirley apologized to Steve privately before it happened publicly. She just felt like because it got out that she deserved that. And that's all a lot of us are. That's our opinion. A lot of us are of the opinion that her daughter, there were things said about her daughter that was like, maybe that should be something that you apply. And we don't know the nature of their relationship, but just because you're not as tight as you were, or because there's issues in your relationship, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't apologize when you're wrong. I've apologized to people that I don't fool up with if I'm wrong. I mean, that just is what it is because that's hurtful. We wouldn't know nothing. What I saw in that magazine was that her daughter, I think, was her maid of honor, and her daughter liked Ernesto. Like that was one of the things she said was, I guess, when she first met him, her daughter, like, this is the layout in Essence magazine on their wedding, that she liked him initially. So, and you have ups and downs and twists and turns with your daughter. I'm not saying that. I am not negating the friction that can happen in mother-daughter relationship at all. I'm just saying that it just seems like, okay, this was really not, she's addressing herself. Like Steve said, the title was, I didn't know I would be my own strawberry letter. It was like clickbait because it almost felt like it was just, you weren't really trying to shed light on much, except you really wanted to apologize to Steve. That was pretty much what you wanted to do. Tamika said he probably wanted her to apologize to him publicly. Queen Renee said, I can't imagine Shirley has not apologized to her daughter. Daughter don't want media attention, in my opinion. Okay. Miss Helena says Steve used Shirley for ratings without revealing his own tea. Well, I'm gonna just throw this link in the chat, and if anybody wants to come up for a few, you guys are welcome to come up on here and tell me how you feel. Again, as long as you're respectful and don't give me no strikes, Don't have people flagging my video. You are more than welcome to come up and tell me how you feel after you watched this video or her strawberry letter. Too Sweet said the entire thing is crazy. Andrew says Steve needs to be quiet. Strawberry letter was never about Nesto. Shirley is private. That's probably true. She did keep saying that she's the private, but she did keep it to herself for some months. That's true. It ended up being an alleged, so how it got out like that, because she probably could have kept it private. How it got out like that was he has a co-defendant in one of his cases in Henry, I think it's Roswell County. He had Roswell City or whatever it is in Georgia. So he has a case with someone, Erica King, Erica Hughley. She got a few last names, and allegedly she got a history as well. And they allegedly started a credit repair business, and they were taking folks' money and all of that. And it was supposed to be $1 million scheme. Well, it was supposed to be such a big scheme that they put it on the news, and then they encouraged people that had reached out and had these services, because in Georgia you have to have a license for credit repair to be involved. So allegedly what happened was they ended up telling people to call in if they were somehow aggrieved. And so that's how it got out to the public what she was talking about when it got, ended up on the news and stuff. But it didn't really hit the blogs like that until around that motion hearing that we also. So it still remained pretty tight lipped for a minute. Hey, Love Jones. Hey, love.
Hey, Sugarfoot.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. I wouldn't dare complain.
That's what I'm talking about. I heard enough complaining already.
Yeah.
Um, so I, me and Cupcake listened to it together as a
Oh wow.
unit. Right. But uh, um, I see things just a little bit different than you when it comes to the daughter.
Okay.
Okay. So I didn't like anything she had to say about her daughter. I think she was 100% incorrect in the way she handled it. I have a daughter, and I know we, as a parent, especially as a mother, we hold a very big stick and we can crush our children immensely, you know. So she said a lot of things that if I said to my daughter wouldn't have nothing to do with me. Even if I said I'm sorry, it would take so much time. So just like you said, I'm sure she apologized to Steve and went through this whole thing that she did on the radio behind the scenes. And if she's trying to repair her relationship with her daughter, she also did that with her daughter. The thing is did her daughter want it to go public? Did she want her to do it publicly? One thing I think she should have done is, yeah, you can apologize to Steve because that's to save your job. Steve made you come up there and apologize because you already
Yeah,
did
you can
that in the
apologize to
background.
Steve because that's to save your job. Steve made you come up there.
Okay, there we
Deb,
go.
that was Deb. I just
That was
muted.
Deb. Hey, Deb. Um, so Steve made her come up there and do that. That's why she only got that part out. But if I was her, I would have slipped in. And my daughter and I are working on our relationship. Cut
Mm-hmm.
that, put it in, drop it, and let it go. Enough to put it out there to kill all of the extra, but not having to say, oh, and go into the spill and me and my daughter this and me and my daughter that,
Mm-hmm.
but just to drop in the bucket. We are working on that. That is something we're working on personally, and then go from there. But Steve, I think I what pissed me off is I feel like Steve made her do that. It felt
Mm-hmm.
like it because she was so with the crying thing, and I was like, yeah, yeah. He put you on the stage and put the spotlight on you and sat you in the middle of the stage with millions of people that you ain't never seen before, and you have to go say this to make my wife feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Make my wife feel better because I know I was out of breath. That's why he made a joke about it. He
He
knew
did.
he was out of
He
breath.
said it.
Yeah,
He said he. He said I was
yeah.
going
He said,
to
well, let me get my well, let me get my wheeze and ass. Yes, and they
It
made a
just
whole
wasn't that
joke about
deep.
it.
Yeah, it just wasn't that deep. That's why I said I'm like, why would I mean if he was offended, if anybody that I offend says I and that wasn't my intent. Because they ever tell you, I told him all the time. I said, as much as I used to come home and be like, child, let me tell you, and he just look at me like,
Exactly.
you do have conversations with your spouse. Like you just like, and you're not really saying that you're just they typically your spouse becomes like your best friend. You're with them every doggone day.
Exactly.
That's kind
That
of who
if
you talk to.
if you're going to speak to anyone, you're going to speak to your spouse because you trust that what you say to your spouse is between you and your spouse.
Yeah. So I get that, but that was a recorded conversation. So it kind of was like, yeah, I wouldn't be talking on the phone. But he encouraged it knowing that they were
He
recording.
milked the cow. He
That's
did.
what my
He
issue was. He encouraged it knowing that. So it wasn't even like I said that before. I don't have a like to me, she was just kicking it with her, and she was dreaming about the house, and if she could have
Mm-hmm.
that, she complimented her. So I feel like it was even. She wasn't like just bashing Marjorie. If that's how she feels when Marjorie, in her opinion, makes her feel like the help, how do you apologize for how somebody makes you feel?
You
In your
don't.
opinion, how do you apologize for that? If
You
anything,
you
it should have
can't.
been, I'm sorry, I make you feel that way, because that's not my intent.
There are some people. I have people at my job that make me feel a certain kind of way. For me, I draw back. I feed you with a long handle spoon and deal with you on what I need to deal with you with. But you made me feel some kind of way. You can't. I don't have to apologize because you made me feel this way. These are my feelings.
Yeah. All right,
These,
love Tom. Let me let Latrice talk, because
all right, babe. You want me to go down?
you can if you want, or
Uh,
you can say, "Hey, Latrice,
Hi, Miss Pam.
how
So
are you?
I'm kind of heated
What's
because
going on?"
Steve is a clear narcissist. I cannot stand a man who think they a man and act like a child. He did that to publicly embarrass her.
Oh
For
wow.
one, I think, and I also think, yes, she had to do it to save her job. But you can't say we family at the end, because what a person don't do is a hit dog won't holler.
Mm.
And you're turning the situation into you. But let's be clear, it was white bloggers that also posted things about his
TMZ,
wife
TMZ, all of them post
constantly,
stuff.
and
Hmm.
then her exes also have been speaking out.
The book.
I'm the
Hmm.
book, the ex wives. So everybody, I don't know whether it's lies or truth, but you can't try to spin it that everybody is lying on you and nothing is going wrong. Because if you're gonna tell it all. And you want to soften Marjorie's feelings. It was just all about feelings, how he felt, how she felt. If she on grandma duty, what does she care? What you speaking for? And then you're talking about it's a strawberry letter between the both of you all. I ain't hear none of his tea. Not about his kids, not about Marjorie, not about no affairs or anything. And yes, it's none of our business. But let's be clear, that is the price of fame.
Being a public figure. That is true.
If
Thank you.
you if you don't want to have your business put out there, then it don't look like you need to speak at all.
Well, all right, Latrice has spoken.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Nene. Nene, can you hear me?
Hey, good evening, Pam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for bringing me on.
Thank you for coming on and giving us your 2 cents, your unsolicited opinion, like the rest of us.
Yes, I tuned in this morning and I was so disappointed. We tuned in to listen to Shirley talk about her and her husband, not Steve and his wife. I don't think anybody was really tuning in to hear any of that. And I think Shirley missed a big opportunity to really distance herself from her husband and what he had going on, because she still is trying to uphold this image that she's been portraying this whole time. And I thought it pretty weird that Steve made the comment that they all knew what was going on with her, but they never talked about it the whole time she was going to work. Nobody never mentioned it to her. She never mentioned it to them. I thought that was pretty weird.
Yeah, so that's probably like somebody mentioned that in the chat when I was like, wait a minute, according to this audio, she didn't even tell Steve until this time. But apparently, you're right. What he did say was they all knew about it, but they were like, we just make it a safe haven. Whenever she wants to talk, we'll be available for her to talk. So you are right. They,
Monica was leaking the news.
yeah, Monica was telling them, you're right. You got, thank you
Yeah.
for correcting me. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to hear all of the details. I wanted to know, did she know about the mistress? Has she heard of any of those phone calls?
That information, child.
I know, but I wanted to I wanted her to get more into detail about her situation, but it turned into her just apologizing over and over again to Steve and Marjorie and basically just trying to keep her job.
That's what it felt like to me, that she was just, because she said that at the end, like, thank you for not firing me.
Right.
She did
And
say,
what she said about them, it wasn't a big deal.
I didn't think so.
It wasn't salacious. It wasn't, any of their personal business. She was just putting her opinion on what she observed from Steve and what she observed of Marjorie. And that was it. And I didn't think it was a big deal for her to keep apologizing over and over again.
And how many times he's scared of her? Like, how many times do you have, like, especially the old school relationships with husbands and wives where they not gonna move unless, no, you can't come over here. Let me talk to my wife first. You're like, something like,
Right.
I think it just got blown up bigger than really what it should have been. I think the way the clickbait was used, maybe that's why, because of how people chose to utilize that information and make it seem like it was such a big deal. And maybe that's what she was apologizing for. But I just, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they had some good views, baby, because I ain't watched Steve Harvey Morning Show. I didn't even know we still had it in Detroit. So it was
Exactly.
I was like, oh, this come on 92.3. What? Then I listened to 50,011,000 freaking commercials. I said, oh, these doggone sponsors, they got that. They made money today. They
Oh
made
yeah.
a lot of, I don't know if they typically do that many commercials because I don't watch, but it just seemed a bit excessive.
I didn't
Yeah.
know it came on out here in Houston either, Pam. And I just found out because I was going to listen to this that is here in Houston as well.
Yeah. So because I was like, do I gotta download the app? I said, let me see if they if this playing. So since I knew I was gonna be in the car riding around, I was like, let me go ahead and check in. Thank you so much for your comment, Nini. I appreciate it. Now thank you for your support over here on the platform.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good evening.
You too. Good evening, the brown cowgirl. How are you? Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I had to unmute.
No, that's okay. Take your time. What do you have to add to the conversation?
Well, my thing is how uncurious Shirley was. So he was arrested. Now, I think he had a record before they got married, if I'm not mistaken. But she didn't do any of her due diligence. She wrote a letter just in June. She was paying the lawyer until August, but the bad charges, the ones that weren't just fraud, they came out in January. Now, once you start seeing SA charges and RA blank blank charges, you need to start asking yourself some serious questions and looking at documents. She could have been at any of those bond hearings. I don't think she listened to any of them or watched the Zoom. She wasn't there. She didn't watch the video. She didn't ask any questions. So it wasn't until the phone calls, and even after the phone calls went public, and we all knew, or you knew because you were following the case, that there was a mistress. I mean, initially his co-defendant, I believe, was living right next door. That would have been enough for me.
I heard that. I did see the eviction notices. I did see that for the house she was staying in, but somebody did say that she was living next door, that Hughley King, Erica chick, that she was living next door. I heard that, but I can't confirm or deny that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of information available for her to find out before August last month, when she stopped paying the attorney, about what he was accused of. And she just seemed like she just didn't ask any questions, didn't want to know. Your daughter is involved, possibly her kids. The daughter, went down, because the police will let you know, hey, we've got this, this, and this. When she heard that there were documents with her name on it, why didn't she go to the police station to see the documents? And she tells him about it in the phone call, and he's just like, oh, that's not true. there was a lot of opportunity for her to get her own information, and she didn't do it. So this goes beyond stand by your man. This is willful ignorance. And that's my issue with her, is that she didn't want to know. She wanted a husband more than she wanted the truth.
Oh my. All right. Well, you have spoken. I would have to agree that it felt like she didn't. You have contact with the lawyer, but it was the side chick that was talking to the lady Moore was talking about. He wanted her to come, the side chick, to come down and sit in the office and get more information. Ernesto had to tell Shirley about the hearing dates. I was saying the same thing. I think maybe she didn't really want to know.
Right. The side chick was smart. I
Yeah.
mean, she was on top of things. She was calling the attorney, getting information.
Man,
That's all information that Shirley could have had and saved herself a lot more heartache, embarrassment, and money. And the other thing, why would she marry this man and allow him to put all of their assets in his business name? You know, she was not a young woman when she got married. And $250,000 for a ring, they could have had a piece of property or a couple pieces of property in Georgia. You know, for that amount of money, so that now that this has gone down, she's left with nothing. She didn't do anything to protect herself and handle her business.
Yeah. And I feel bad for her on that end, and I get it. You know, like I told everybody in my commentary on the other videos, I wasn't mad at her in the beginning for trying to figure out if she was trying to figure it out and not just going off of whatever, because there are wrongful convictions. There are people that are targeted. There are people nobody's denying that. But it was just after a while, it was just kind of like, come on now. Like we gotta, you know, so and she said that she was trying to stand by her man in the beginning. And it sounds like she at least tried to stand by him till June based on that affidavit.
It makes sense. It makes sense with fraud charges. But once they got his phone and found photos, and the police would have told her all the stuff that they found, but she didn't speak to them and find out, or didn't even ask the attorney, what's the evidence that came up in the probable cause hearings?
Right, that is true. And it was interesting because he waived a couple of those hearings. So you don't always have to sit for the probable cause hearing. You can just waive them and agree to be bound over. And it's a strategy session. It's strategy. Because sometimes probable cause hearings are good to have when you want to lock somebody into their testimony, because then you can use it at trial for impeachment purposes if they lie or they switch their story up or whatever. But the flip side is, if somebody disappears, something happens to them, there's people that passed away that's the main witnesses before trial. If they don't have their testimony, then your case is pretty much done, because you don't have that preliminary examination transcript to read into the transcript for an unavailable witness. So and sometimes you can do preliminary examinations and they up your charges. You can get some dismissed, but you can also be like, at that time, the prosecution could say, well, we want to add an additional, we realize he was carrying a concealed weapon or something, you know? So it's a strategy thing. And he did waive some of those preliminary examinations. Now, according to the order that I put on the screen yesterday, those last 3 charges, that looked like they held it, and it was an order to bound it over because they were saying that they had evidence. But thank you so much for your comment. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for supporting the channel.
Thank you.
So Too Sweet says Steve has to remember he is a public figure, and you have to take too bad with all those good times, blessings he always speaks about, and Shirley doesn't need to do another letter for a while. You said Shirley don't need to do not another letter. All right, I hear you. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, I'm gonna let Sam be last because we already know Sam about to be talking for 20. What you gotta say, Dan?
Oh no. There go my super chat.
Nah, you can let Sim go. I'll go last. Go ahead, Sim.
No, I'll go last.
No, go ahead, Sam. No, for real. Go ahead. You know I'm just
okay. I know it because you love me. Look, we all know that's gonna be in the Strawberry book. Okay, not the letter, but the book. But my thing is, Shirley, as old as she is, now her friends. Now you all know that anybody that has a friend that you can depend on, she would have went and pulled up the records and said, "Girl, did you know all this was going on?" So Shirley wanted a piece of man in jail than having a real man. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because
No,
there is no way that a woman her age, you get married that late in age, you gonna do a background check, you gonna make him sign a prenup, you ain't gonna put nothing in his name, uh, or whatever, because you have a whole lot more to lose than this man with 18 charges. And Steve, now if it was on TMZ, now there's some truth to that. I'm sorry. You
you
can't
know that.
blame the devil on Marjorie and all
Saying,
of that.
don't be coming on here and starting no rumors about Steve Harvey. We not about to do that.
No,
We're not doing
no,
that over
okay,
here. We
I
not
know
talking
it.
about Steve like that. See, this is why I
Well,
had to have you go last, because
okay,
you don't know
so,
what's
but
gonna come out your mouth sometimes, but it's okay.
yeah, well, Steve, you a good man. I hope you watching. But you are a narcissist.
Thank you. We like saying can't help ourselves. I
I
love
know,
you.
but wait a minute. The sad part about I sit in my car for an hour waiting on him. I, Girl, I live in Texas, right?
Oh,
Dallas,
it was
and
hot,
it is
man. It was hot.
hotter than it's hot. And Steve, one thing about his show is that it's all about him. Okay, the other caller, whoever said that's true, it's all about him. And it was a lot of apologizing to Steve. Then I apologize for being dumb. Who said that? I'm like the woman. Who said that?
Well, we're all family over here, Sam. We all
Yeah,
family.
yeah. But they
But
like,
yeah, I
I
do
mean,
gotta
but
get
it's
Ron
like,
on though. I forgot Mr. Ron. I'm sorry. I just had you sitting over here. Sorry.
oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ron, but Steve, he should know. I think he's trying to hit everything. He wanted everybody to take the heat off of Shirley for a minute and address the rumors about him and his wife.
I,
When you, yeah, and you can go on, do an interview with a YouTuber, and they'll set the record straight for you. Do an interview with them.
I,
Let that lady have her moment. I don't
yeah.
care if she is trying to save her job. She couldn't even tell. To me, it seemed like she wanted to say more, but the commercials and Steve, what do you have to say? And
That was like
but
dun, 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 whatever that little stupid music is. I was like, we going on
the
a baby
boogie night music, yeah,
the
and
break.
yeah, she couldn't even get her cry out. I mean, I listened to it and I watched it. She scratching her head. When we get to scratching our head, we either finna lie or cry. So,
No, Sin. All right. Thank you, Sin. We love you, Mr.
okay, I'm gonna let Ron go. Don't block me, Dave.
All right,
Mr. Ron, good evening.
let me start off by saying this. I'm getting tired of everybody giving you credit because we know they know you've been covering this.
Thank
I'm,
you.
I'm just so tired of that. But my biggest
Speak on it, Ron.
It's okay.
my big issue
Uh-huh.
my big issue is with Steve because he put out that little Love and Hip Hop trailer, and we just knew this strawberry letter was gonna be worth something, and it ain't worth nothing. I wasted my hour listening to a bunch of nothing, and I'm disappointed in
Yep.
Steve. Since he cut his afro, I've been disappointed with him. Yeah,
That was a
the benefit.
toupee.
I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, and this it.
Not
This
the king of
he
comedy, toupee.
He played us. He played like he really played us
Sonya said she almost lost her job trying to listen to this. She said she almost lost her job.
But like
Girl.
it's crazy how he flipped this and turned it into him and Marjorie.
Wasn't that interesting? I think personally, I think it was because of the number of people that were gonna watch this. This was a good time if you want to get, a nice amount of people or get it to the masses. This would be a good opportunity because who really? I mean, I don't know their numbers. They're clearly still on the air, so I guess they still have some numbers. But I know a lot of people that don't watch it because people were saying it in my chat. They were like, "Oh, we ain't watched this in a long time." People had to download the app.
They was probably paying numbers for this morning. Like everybody was tuning in because the people who I knew wasn't checking in for this, and like they was like they gonna check in today. I just knew we was gonna get something, and we ain't got nothing. Nothing. They someone needs to about false advertisement.
We got another lawsuit like James Camper did for he sued
College Hill.
Yeah, BT Plus for College Hill. He sure did. He said that was false advertisement.
It was manipulative because he put out that trailer the day before?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would
he actually mentioned it Friday because I knew on Friday, but then he put out he mentioned it on the air, but it wasn't where you could find it and go back to the radio show. And then he did little clips, and I started seeing it on TikTok and Instagram or whatnot where he actually did a clip. But yeah, he announced it on Friday on the show because everybody was DMing me like, girl, they doing a strawberry letter on Shirley Strawberry.
I thought we was gonna get some nephew Tommy jail calls or something.
Exactly. Marjorie made him do that.
Yeah, this drew in a segment of viewers that don't otherwise listen to Steve. I agree, Ray, for real. He said he was being sarcastic. That he did say. All right, Deb, what you got to say?
Oh, now he on mute. Come on, Papa.
I didn't take you off. There you go.
All right. It's my turn. First, I'd like to say this. When dealing with any type of public figure, it's sad to say, but a lot of times these celebrities, they look for ways to insert themselves in things that are trending because as long as their name stays out in the public, they make money. That's what it's all about. If you forget their name, if they're not mentioned, if they're not seen places, then they're history. So when Steve was putting out the trailer talking about, they were going to address it or whatever, he's way too big to go on ahead and have something that minute wherein it's almost like he has to address. Steve never had to touch this whole ordeal with Shirley and Nesto. You know what I mean? Like, you got to look at where things stand between both of them. For the stuff that she said about him, it's like, I really don't even think that stuff bothered Steve. I think it was more so it bothered Marjorie. Just because you have somebody who have to think about it. For her to say Marjorie makes her feel like she's the help, right? Well, her husband employs you. So in her mind, you are the help. Because without Steve, what would you have? Right now, if Steve would have told her, we're going to split, go our separate ways, no love lost, what would Shirley have right now? Absolutely nothing. So the only thing she has is the foundation of that job. I think it was more of a thing of Marjorie showing her, I'm the head chick, all right? And anything that's said, I can go ahead and control the narrative of you. So stay in your place. You ain't got to. First of all, she was lucky to probably even be able to get up in the house. For her to talk about how Steve walked up, okay, he out of shape, he old. You know what I mean? He walking up the steps, winded and whatnot. Okay, cool. Didn't Marge make you feel like the help? Well, guess what? Guess what you're going to feel like now? The slave. Because you ain't going to never be up over there on that property ever again.
Oh, yeah, she ain't invited no more.
So the
Yeah,
whole
Oh,
thing,
ain't.
and
a
then the
wrap.
whole thing is you have
I'm
to look
scared
at
of that little green-eyed devil.
but then you have to look at the history of who we're talking about. Somebody who, for years have been in the limelight, whether good or bad. He's had a great team who has spent a lot of stuff. So for it to be something just somewhat associated with his name, he's going to absorb this. You know what I'm saying? Some people are attention seekers, point blank. Any type of attention, they're going to seek that. All right. Now, one thing I will say is it's crazy because you have all these people, and I heard it, they mentioned family, right? So many times but when you look at it, well, how many people is going to sit back, be worth more than $400 million, but you're going to see a family member basically be homeless? Her car
Mhm.
was taken from her.
Yeah.
You ain't got no place to live. Where you said out your mouth, you're staying with friends.
And he said he knew about it. Like
Right,
you,
but here's
you were blessed, but you didn't just go and
this is what I'm
offer.
saying. You supposedly heard about it as soon as it happened, right? They allowed you to still come to work, provided a safe place for you, and allowed you to open up when you were ready. But while you going through this, you see that her life is literally like coming to shambles, and you're gonna see somebody who you call family be homeless.
Well, people got different definitions of family. We know that.
Right.
Yeah, Marjorie put a halt to that, and you better not give her no money. He froze. Okay, I'll take over. Jimmy Townsend, call him. He'll tell you. All right. Y'all get them like buttons up while Pam is froze. Hit the like button, subscribe, share. Well, I guess that's it, y'all. You just okay. I guess they'll be back when they Steve Harvey done got into the system.
I don't know what happened. My bad, guys. Like it just whole StreamYard just shut down. Like what? Okay, let me see if I can get everybody on. Sorry about that, guys. That was ghetto. That was
I was
real.
telling everybody to hit the like button. I was the only one still up here. Oh, little old me.
Listen,
I was the
get these
only
That
one
was
left.
ghetto.
I said Steve must have got into the internet.
Right. See what I'm saying? That's what I be trying to tell y'all. Like, you start talking about certain things, your stuff start acting up. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hey,
Listen, we got almost 700 people in here. We need to get these likes up. All right, let's
I
do that.
told him that while I was down.
Let's get these likes up. But my whole point is, when you have people that take advantage of somebody else's demise, that's not cool. That's not cool because it was more so about him and his life and not really about Shirley. The whole thing is you have a woman, and I've made jokes, about Shirley or whatever the case would be, more so because you may not be on his level as far as Steve, but you are a public figure. So for you to be older and I told Pam this. I'm sure you had things in place to protect at the time what was your asset or your finances. So you cared more about protecting that than protecting your image.
Is
You
that the
have
spirit of Detroit right there?
what?
The spirit of Detroit on the picture. He said one more word about Marjorie and y'all gonna be done. Y'all told y'all. That's why I told Sin don't come on this platform talking about Steve Harvey like that. Because I was like,
And look who had to carry y'all when y'all went out.
That's true.
So,
That is
so,
true.
so the thing is, you know, you would just think that, you know, as you get older in life, you become more wise. It's a thing of protecting yourself, you know. So if now everybody want to backtrack, you didn't really know him like that. It wasn't really a lot of time or whatever. Listen, you got to protect yourself, baby. You the one that got, you know, the notoriety. You're the one whose name is out here, and you're the one whose circle has now folded in because of the person that you associated yourself with. So this man has, I mean, brought everything to a demise in the matter of how long? Everything you worked for, what, 30 something years, almost 40 years, you know, in media and all that stuff like that or whatever. You would think that she would be smarter than that. And then that whole stand by your man mentality. Listen,
They went out.
Hillary Clinton was one person. All right. Everybody's not called to be that.
So ain't. I didn't know.
Thank you, Mr. CKB, for the $50. He said,
Mr. CKB, what's going on, brother? What's going on?
Shout out to Dale talking that talk. If I could add, was Shirley sorry for what she said or sorry for getting caught saying what she said? I think the latter, Mr. CKB.
Well, but that was the thing, because here's the thing. With couples, and Pam said this earlier, there's dozens of times, you know, she's talking to me about work. All right. I could care less. Okay? But my
I thought you really are interested in what I have to say.
Oh, you don't know me then.
Let's take that $50, Pam, and go out to eat ourselves. I'd come to Detroit.
Sin, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. All right. Don't cause no division. Watch your mouth. In fact, Pamela, mute her mic. All right. I need my little sidekick to hush for about 3 minutes. All right. But here's the thing: when you're dealing with a couple, all right, there's going to be times in both people's lives where you just want to be able to pour out whatever's going on. Good day, bad day, ideas you got, whatever. But when it comes to work, you know, there's times where I'll just sit and listen, because you know what I tell myself? Like, this is what I signed up for. All right. Hey, you know what? I'm better than her to her best girlfriend. You know why? Because I'm going to sit and listen to the stuff regardless. All right. And I sit there and I nod my head. You know, I show some attentiveness, and it's only because I know she's talking. All right. And it's like, okay, when she's
you
finished,
learn a lot when you let your husband get up on the platform.
But you know what? I ain't got nobody to talk to. All right. So I'm going to spill it all out for the intellects, right? I can do that as Mr. Intellect. But when you let them finish talking and you look at the smile or, you know, the image that they have on their face because they were able to release that or whatever, I know. Thank you, Mr. CKB. That's my brother right there. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute, let me get that. See, thank you for the $10. Says Steve wants to come for the content producers, but dare not address Jim Townsend, who's doing interviews with them. Wow.
All right, now watch that, Bessie. Now watch that.
Whoa.
All right, watch it. You true, but watch it. You true. Now wait, put Mr. CKB's comment up there. Put it back up.
Already talked about the black content. He said it was black bloggers were the ones that was doing all. You know, it's black people. You know how they get. It's like,
no, I'm saying Mr. CKB put another comment up there. Yeah,
here's another one. I swear I said the same thing on my stream. I could truly care less, but hey,
fight the power, brother. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we doing today.
That's right.
Where we going for lunch, Pam?
Sin,
CKB.
Sin don't go on timeout. Now you forgot who you messing with.
Oh, I forgot he got a ranch.
No, you forgot who I am. I'm Mr. C. I'm Mr. Intellect.
Yeah.
You see that?
More power to you, Dave. More power to you.
All right. Now you live in Dallas. My team won. All right. Now cool it. So
Our team sure did.
But my thing is, I think more so than anything on a real is the fact of Shirley's words were exposed. So she was being honest when she was talking to Ernesto. And the problem is what she honestly said got exposed and it got back to Steve. And the reason why she had to go on ahead and kiss his ring, like how they do the Pope, all right, and how they do all these, highfalutin folks or whatever, is because right now he controls the narrative of her life. She has nobody in her corner. She has nothing. Absolutely nothing. And without him right now, where would she be in the next 90 days? So let's just take this as a lesson for all of us. And I'm being totally honest. Let's take this as a lesson for all of us. Number one, really, really think about the people who you're going to have connected to you. I don't care from the church world, from your industry, whatever career you got. Think about that, and then you just gotta like be mindful. A lot of these jail calls, I felt bad because you know what? She is that naive, as old as she is. He's in jail, spinning a false narrative, and she was still believing it. Still believing it. Like you still got hope that when he get out, we gonna fix it and make it better and all that and stuff like that. And he just stringing you along. It's like, Shirley, baby, like for real? You ain't had an uncle, you ain't had a male friend that put you up on no type of game. It took you being smacked in the face with these jail calls with his young tenderoni for you to finally get it.
Well, y'all, before we get off today, while we were on, I did get an email that jail calls, phone calls from prisons dropped a whole nother audio. So I'm going to play theirs on here, and I'll just tell them that I played theirs instead of playing it tomorrow. So y'all can jump off the platform. Thank you so much for all of your comments. I appreciate it. Thank you, Sin. I love you, Dev.
I love y'all too. Even Dave.
I get a hand wave like we in church.
Yeah.
I get a church hand wave. Now, look. Y'all see it. Y'all see how when I be honest, you see how I get treated? About, I love you, but Dev,
I ain't got nothing to do with this.
I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Sin, you caused trouble talking about, where we gonna spend that $50 for lunch?
All right.
We love you guys. We love you guys. Be safe.
No, I'm staying on. I'm telling you to get back in the chat. I'm staying on.
Oh, this how you gonna do me because I'm light skinned? You gonna do me like that?
There. I'm about to play this phone call.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Love you.
All right, whatever.
See?
Whatever.
All right, y'all. So let's see. I haven't listened to it, so I don't know which one this is. This is going to have their commentary too on it because I'm not going to use the phone calls that I have that don't have the commentary. So let's see what it says. We're going to listen to this together. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Hello. This is a call from
Nesto.
Hey everyone, I listened to the Steve Harvey morning show today, as I'm sure many of you did. They addressed the jail calls and Shirley cleared up a few things concerning Ernesto. We now know that she hasn't talked to Ernesto for quite some time and divorce proceedings are underway. I can possibly help to confirm this because absolutely 0 calls have been made between Shirley and Ernesto after April 14th, 2023. Not to mention, February through April, they barely talked at all, according to the records. I wanted to share a call where Shirley finds out she's on Fox 5 Atlanta News. You will hear Ernesto and Shirley watch the news piece together in this same call. Before we get to that, I wanted to clear something up. In a previous video, I stated that Erica King, Ernesto's co-defendant, was supposedly introduced to Shirley as his business partner. However, you will learn from this call that Shirley sounds like she has no clue who Erica is. Remember, this call took place in October of 2022. Take a listen.
Well, I'm sorry I'm all on the news.
Well, there's nothing I could do about it, so. Yeah. It is what it is. I just have to deal with it, that's all. Yeah, I'm sorry, this told me for a super loop right here. And they gave my co-defendant, I looked that up too, she got a bond and everything for all of it yesterday. Who's your co-defendant? It's Erica, Blue, whatever you want to call it. I can't pronounce the last name, but that's what they said. The woman that's in the picture with you? Yeah, but I didn't know that. She got a bond. She's out of jail. No, not yet. She ain't bonded out yet, but she do have a bond now. She got a bond, so she must have went yesterday. But she got a bond on all her charges. She had like 30 charges. I didn't have like that, but so she got a bond. Do you know this woman? Yeah, I do know her. Yeah, I do know her, but we didn't do nothing. But the only thing she did help me with, she said she was a lawyer at that time. So come to find out, oh, this ain't going where it need to be go. So that's why they got me linked up with her. All this isn't what? That's why they got me linked up with her. Linked up. Why? I just told you why. I didn't hear you. Okay. I'm sorry. I can't talk about so much on the phone. Okay, well, don't. That's okay. Never mind. Yeah. But that's what they linked up for. So, but my charges is not none of that stuff. The only charge I got is when I went the other day. So they're trying to say I got rental property. I don't have no fucking rental property. I don't have none of that. Yeah, if you read it, that's what it said. Correct? Yeah. Yeah, I don't have no shit like that. So, but anyway, that's it. That's what I saw today. Yeah. I guess that's supposed to do whatever it's supposed to do, but that's not nothing. But I'm not gonna let that discourage me. I'm gonna keep it moving. Okay. Yeah, but I'm sorry that I want to let you know what's going on first. Well, yeah, Dion had told me. I didn't know it was on the news, so I just thought it was live. I didn't know it was on the news, so it's just on the news. No. Yeah, so if somebody call you, you know what it is. So. Yeah, I already. Yeah, when they call, I knew before you called me. You just found out. Yeah. Lamont said somebody sent it to him earlier. He knew earlier, but he just didn't want to bother you with it. For real? But please don't tell him. I'm not. Yeah. Damn. He said he didn't want to bother you with it because it's just haters out here. Right. He didn't say nothing to me about it. He did. And there's nothing what can you do about it? Oh, no, ain't nothing I can do about it. Yeah, ain't nothing I can do about it. Nothing at all. No, he know about it. I ain't know nothing about that. Damn. Well, it sounds like he wasn't taking it that seriously, No, he ain't taking that serious because it really ain't nothing because he know my character. So he know what I got going on. Yeah. So, no. Well, at least I know I get a bond this week. So it gave me a relief. Yeah. So, yeah. So I just feel bad in your situation, what you got going on. It'll make you like a fucking just cold villain. Like you made a bad decision on who you married. Yeah. That's what the shit look like. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It really, really does. But Yeah. And I know people don't people they care, they like, but a lot of people don't like what they like. So and that's cool. I mean, a lot of people don't like. Huh? What do you mean by that? I don't get that. I mean, a lot of people don't like people being with people. People think they want you to be with who they think you need to be with, or do what you want to be. That's fine. Wow. They don't want to be on the news for that. All the good shit I do, I don't get on the news for that, do I? Yeah. But it's all right. I didn't know Roswell put that in the paper like that either. I didn't know that. That's what it is. Yeah, that's where it came from, Roswell. I mean, I know that's where it came from because that's where you got arrested. Yeah. But I didn't know it was in the Roswell paper. Yeah. How did you find? What I did was I called around. Then the guy who went to court. He said I seen somebody. And he said I seen that lady on the news like a video when he went to his bond. He said he saw the lady on the screen. He said, but I didn't know that you were dealing with them people. And then he put two and two together and he let me use his three-way to call. That's how I found out. Who did you call? Dion. Yep. And he said he already texted you. He said someone had texted him. Yeah. That's what he said.
Yeah, he didn't say, dang, you getting $1 million, you didn't give me $1 million. I ain't getting none of that money. I said, man, what you talking about, bro? I ain't got shit. That's stupid. That ain't, everybody know that character, though. That ain't none of my style. That was funny. But anyway.
But how are you gonna? I guess work out. I'm just saying, how are you gonna come back from this? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
man, I done seen people come back from lesser than this.
I'm not saying you can't come back from it. Don't get me wrong. No, you can come back from it. That's not my issue. It's just, it is what it is.
You're trying to figure out how I'm gonna come back, or what? These allegations? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I hope that DC. I hope that he can fix. Do something about this.
Oh yeah, he can. He can. He's a good lawyer. I got faith in him. Yeah, I got faith. You say you text him, right, or you just left him a message?
No, I left a voicemail because I
understand.
Then you call me back, and
Okay. Yeah, well, you can leave him a text message and tell him he can look at it, let him know that they put me on the news, and this is ridiculous. I mean, he said all that when he called 2 weeks ago. He told the judge that all this is making no sense. It's ridiculous. Yeah, and it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's okay. But how I'm gonna bounce back? I'm gonna bounce back.
Well, I know that part. That's, you gotta have a good attorney.
Yeah, and right now this just kind of helped my case even more. I believe it has. So it is what it is.
Well, if God is in control of it, and I do believe He is, then it will help the case. I mean, it's like the devil throwing his last jab before you get out. I just hate this public. I don't like this stuff because I'm in the public, and I don't want, I don't want it to get back to my job. All of that. It's like, I just don't want all that. I don't want, Steve and them talking about it. I just.
Well, first of all, I don't think if he really wanted to say something about me bad, he would have said it already. You just probably ain't even told me. If everybody want to talk bad, man, you just certain shit you probably ain't even told me. That's fine.
Well, that's not it. That's not the point. The point is they didn't know this.
Right, but this is false accusation. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even charged for that shit they talking about on the. I'm not even charged. I don't have a charge for that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not even. You can get what's the name? She'll tell you that your roommate. I'm not even charged for what they saying I'm here for. Do you get it now?
I get that, honey.
Yeah.
I understand that part. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that you're on the news for whatever it is. That's a horrible reflection on me. I know you're doing the time, but I'm just saying, I'm just thrown into this,
And I'm sorry you throwed into this. I'm thrown into my damn self, to be honest.
Yeah, and you're too. And like I said, you're doing the time. You're doing the time. It's just, this is,
Right.
But anyway, it's just a horrible situation. But, things happen for a reason, and it'll be over soon. This too shall pass. That's what I have to keep saying. I have to keep trusting God, which I do. It's just, it looks bad right now. It just does. I'm just being honest. It looks bad.
Well, it looks bad, but guess what? I will say, we'll be just fine. I believe what I believe in. We're gonna be just fine. So, like I said, what they got on that ain't got nothing to do with me. So I'm cool with that, and my innocence will be proven real shortly. And then I can get on there and say what I want to say once I prove my innocence.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I just got to prove my innocence. So that's what the lawyer's for.
Yeah. Well, I pray that he can do that and more,
Oh, yeah, I know he can. So I'm good on that, I'm good on that.
Yeah. I mean, people don't care. I just don't know why whoever she is, why she have to implicate you in her stuff. Because she's trying to get a lighter sentence?
No, that ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. I don't think that's it. I think that they trying to put something together, and we ain't even really linked like that. You understand what I'm saying? I can't really say what I want to say. Yeah. Okay, because I get it. Yeah, I can't really say all that. So all I know is that they're just trying to pick, and throw something out there. And my half, it ain't nothing out there to throw out there. It ain't. Yeah. So, I'm just, go ahead. No, that's okay. Go ahead, I'm listening. No, they just keep, it's like they keep trying to find that's not there. You know, it's like, give it up already, or just be, I mean, what do they think there's, what are they looking for? I don't know what they're looking for. I really don't. They just threw me for a loop today, seeing my face on fucking TV. Big, I'm talking about big. Oh, big on TV? I did. TV, yeah. I'm glad I did, because I probably would have passed out. Yeah, you would have passed out, but you got about 5 more minutes on Channel 5 News. Yeah. I mean, who would have passed out? I was thinking that it was just online. I didn't know it was on TV. That's a whole different animal being on TV, because everybody. Yeah. And they probably should have 2 days straight. Yeah. So, yeah, that's. I'm surprised. I'm surprised ain't nobody called you. Well, it's really just in Atlanta. There's a lot of people live in Atlanta. That's all I'm concerned about is Atlanta. But it's okay. Well, yeah, they probably keep it on that 5 and 6. It's been on that 3 hours. You got your TV on. You got your TV on. I have it on. Oh, okay. I'm surprised. Surprised ain't nobody called you yet. Well, I hope they don't. Yeah. So. I hope they don't. I hope they just leave me alone. Oh. Well. Because I don't know what to say. I mean, what do I say? Well, first of all, you know, they've been investigating me for months. I've been here for months. It's the same thing. So, it is what it is. I'm not trying to make nobody happy and make nobody convince nobody or nothing. I'm not trying to do none of that. It is what it is. They got my face up there, and that's what they got me on, so I gotta bypass that too. Yeah, I guess so she just called me. I guess now she'll know the truth. Oh, she'll know the truth? Oh, okay. I mean, not the truth, but she'll know, you know, whatever they told her when they called her. Right. Okay. Because I didn't tell her anything when she called me. She'll see it on her. I got you. Okay. But, you know, this is what it is right now. This is my life right now, so I just got to deal with it. If I wasn't who I am, they want to put that on me. Oh, yeah, the Roswell police, yeah. There you go. They want to put that on me. Not at all. Yeah, they're still trying to make me come in. Oh, they are? I mean, I don't know. That might be part of it. They've been trying to get me to come in for the longest, but I'm really not going in there now. Oh, they still calling you over there? No, they haven't called me for a couple of weeks. Oh, yeah. Well, it is what it is. That's what they got on there. So, it'll all wash in the wash. It's coming. Yeah. Yeah, sure is. Yeah, sure is. I'm trying to stay on the phone so you can see yourself. Yeah, you can. I mean, you can stay on. Is it the top story or something? Yeah, it's going to be the first 3 stories. It's going to be the top story? Oh, my God. Top story. Yeah, top story. Few minutes. Yeah. The top story. Lord. Yeah, that's what threw me off. Top story. Yeah. How is that the top story? With all the up on the world. Yeah, it's a top story. I didn't know it was a top story. Lord have mercy. Yeah, it's a top story. Yeah. So, that's what it is. And everybody looking at me, hey, you know, I got my beard on. Is that you? That's you, ain't it? That's you. That's the thing with this, because, you know, they can't see my face because I got all this hair everywhere. It's just everywhere. Oh. Yeah. So when they say that's you, they're like, yeah. No, I'm just in here looking. Here it comes. Oh, wait, maybe not yet. Yeah. Is it 6 o'clock yet? Let's see. Yeah, 6 o'clock. Oh, it's almost 6. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, God. Is your heart beat? Oh, God. Oh, you see it? No, not yet. You're on Fox 5. Fox 5.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Oh, wait, Fox 5.
Yeah, Fox 5.
I thought that's what I had it on. Yeah, it's on Fox News at 5.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Fox 5.
Okay, what you see on yours?
Somebody is on a screen, a white lady. They're in Fulton County right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Wow.
What?
No, I'm just saying, wow. I'm just saying, wow, my life.
Yeah. Are you writing your book in there?
Yes, I am. You better know it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I got a hell of a one. I think everybody want to read. What you think?
Yeah. Oh, God. My stomach is a knot.
Oh, you that nervous?
Yeah, because, I got to go to work tonight.
Oh, well, Monica ain't call you.
She knows. I told her already. I mean, I sent her the thing that Dion sent me, her and Tosh, just so they would know.
What?
What do you mean, what?
No, I already know what she's going to say. I don't believe that shit.
She's just saying, she's just checking on me to see how I am.
Oh, she checked on you today.
Yeah, how am I doing? Are you okay? Are you okay?
Oh, okay, I got you. They'll probably come on after this. Well, that told me I just got off the phone with you.
Yeah.
I just got off the phone with you.
Well, it might be the next story. I don't know.
Yeah, after Victor Hill, that's what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really not a big enough case. It's just speculation right now. They don't have anything on you.
Oh, that's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is.
It's an investigation.
Yeah.
They put investigations on the news.
Thank you. It's speculation. That's it. That's it. And they ain't said nothing about nobody arrested. They ain't said they in jail. They ain't said none of that. They ain't said none of that.
For all the people in Atlanta, my husband has to be on the news.
Ain't that so? Wow. Ain't that something? Well, damn, Lamont Khalid told me that shit. Damn.
No, don't say. He didn't know. He probably doesn't even know it's this big, like it's on the news and stuff.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I mean, that's what he told me. He said he didn't want to bother you with it, and I get that. I didn't tell you about that whole stuff I've been going through. You had enough on your mind, Oh, here's Lamont. Lamont is on the other line. Can you hear me? Lamont is calling.
Yeah. Go ahead and answer.
Okay, I have to. Oh, he hung up. Oh!
You just missed it.
No, it's on. Oh my God.
Okay, so you saw it for yourself.
Huh?
I say, so you saw it for yourself.
Yep.
Okay. So you good.
Good.
Ooh, good.
What you say?
He said, I'm good.
He asked you, was you good?
No, you're saying that to me.
Oh, yeah. I'm straight.
What?
Yeah, I'm straight.
Yeah, Lamont, I told Lamont, he said, call me. I said, I will. It's on TV. I've seen it. He said, yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah. So.
You have 1 minute remaining.
I'm going to call you, what's day? Wednesday. I'll probably call you Thursday.
All right, love.
Okay, I'm sorry the way it's going, but it's going to be all right.
Apologize. You don't have to apologize. It's okay. I mean, it is what it is. We'll get through it. It is what it is. That's all. I mean, it just is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, love. Thank you very much. I love you. Have a good night. Bye.
Well. Shout out to Phone Calls from Prison. This is their recording that they just dropped. Like, I don't know what time they dropped it, but they just emailed me and told me when they dropped it. But shout out to them. Make sure you go give them a like and a subscribe, when you leave here. And make sure you subscribe over here. Yeah, I have a lot to say. Maybe I should have did this in a whole second video. But I figured since it came on while we were on, we can just kind of talk about it now. This was October 2022 for anybody that was wondering. What they are talking about is the co-defendant Erica King. Now, one of her charges is impersonating a lawyer. So it is alleged that she was acting like she was Ernesto's lawyer in order to help get him out. Now, how much he knew about her, he's making it seem like it's like he don't have anything to do with that. He didn't know she wasn't a lawyer. I don't know what he was telling Shirley, but clearly Shirley is really believing him. She's believing what he's saying. She's like, do you know this lady? Yeah, I know her. She got a bond already, but I don't have no bond yet. So I know I'm about to get a bond because she got like 30 charges. And she does have a slew of charges because I did look her up as well with all them aliases she has. So she did have a slew of charges and she did get bond because I think she got arrested around the same time as him and she got out almost immediately. And then she got rearrested on some other charges. But yeah, she really is naive. She said it was stand by your man and all of that, but it's that phone call just made it sound a tad bit worse. So I'm gonna look at your comments, but my goodness. You said thank God for 1 minute remaining. His conversation really bothers you guys, huh? Because I guess it's the lack of vocabulary. He has like a few words. But what was crazy was towards the end when he said, so you seen it? All right, good. You good or something. And then she said, good. I don't know about good. And she's like, oh, you said I'm good. And he don't even realize like what he's saying, which means he just talks. Because he didn't realize that he was the one that initiated that and said good when she saw it. And she sounded like she really wanted to pass out. Shirley don't know because she don't want to know. Why was she not involved or watching his hearings? Erica was representing him in a Zoom hearing. Thank you so much, Jessica, for the super chat. She wasn't watching any of his stuff. That's what I was saying. Remember, in the call that we went over yesterday, that in that call, she was asking him about the hearings and asking him about the motion. So we knew she wasn't there. I came to the conclusion that perhaps it was because she didn't want anybody to know her affiliation with him. So she was trying to still be incognito. You see, this was October 2022 when she was talking, and this was before he had the bond hearing so this was before the audio we heard yesterday, which was like October 31st, according to the docket, he had a bond hearing. So this had to be like a week before that, according to the call, because he was saying, I have a bond hearing next week. And in that call, she's saying she doesn't want to have to tell Steve. Like she was like, I don't want to have to tell them at work. She didn't tell a lot of people about it, is what it sounds like. It was minimum people that knew that he was in there. Denial at its best. Yep, at 1 hour, she just believed whatever her husband said. She needed to get that police report and get every detail. She could have went and listened to the police. She didn't have to tell them nothing. And you know what? You really don't even know what, because really, even though she was paying for his attorney, that attorney probably only divulged what he was okay with him divulging. So. Sweet Jones says she ignored the truth. Well, that's that, y'all. That is the most up to date. If you guys want to rehear it, make sure you go over there to phone calls from prison. And yeah, she was definitely. How was she gonna get kept by Ernesto? She didn't think it was gonna hit the news. Yeah, she was like, why would it hit them? Then of course he's making it like he's such a big person. It only hit the news because it was me. They're saying it was $1 million, an alleged $1 million scheme in Roswell. So that probably was a big deal to them. That's not a breaking story. It's just an investigation. How do they put it on there when you're no, he was arrested? There was some judge or magistrate who agreed that there was at least reasonable suspicion, probable cause in order to arrest you. So you said, skip me, Sonya. You are cracking me up. Did she know about his past criminal before she did? Because she mentioned that a few times. How we know she knows about his past is because she said people don't give him the benefit of the doubt because of his past. And she said people change. So she said that on multiple audios. She thinks that he's targeted because he has a past. And he keeps saying, well, my past is years ago. Jim B said that's breaking story in my city. You said a lot of nobodies make. Oh my gosh. Well, you guys know over here, regardless to what it is, we'll be following these cases. There are 9 open cases that are here. He has cases in Fulton and in Cobb County. But and then the last motion hearing that we watched in August 22nd of 23, the DA mentioned that apparently there were some more warrants that were being issued. They were like search warrants. So they had a few leads, I guess, which they believe could potentially lead to more charges. So when Shirley said that this is still going on and on and on, she was not exaggerating. So now back in May or June when we had that other hearing, they did say it was going to be like 15 more indictments or something. That didn't happen. It ended up being like 3 different cases. I mean, it was enough, within those cases, because I think they had 4 charges in one, 3 on the other, 4 on the other. So it was close if you did it per charge. But so when they say that they've shown themselves that they are being forthright. They're not like bluffing when they're telling the judge, like, yeah, there's going to be some warrants and there may be some more arrests. So yep, Ernesto said, yeah, that's what I will say. So Ernesto is in there writing a book about all of this, apparently, because she asked him about the book. Shirley, you need to go ahead and you need to do you some type of documentary. See what she could have done was she could have started her own YouTube channel and she could have piecemealed all of it. Do you know how many subs and viewers she would have got? Like, she has to start doing things, because if one thing this should have taught her is it sounds like the majority of her reliance is on Steve. You guys to branch out and get some more streams of income, because she sounded like if she lost her job, she didn't know what she would do. And she needs to go ahead, just like everybody else is capitalizing off of it that's out here. So why don't you do it for yourself? Why he writing a book? Shoot. And dare I say, this is just like a comedian, Monique and her husband. He convinced her that her family, which is not perfect, was all using her and she couldn't think and make decisions without him. Oh, wow. He's probably going to become a preacher. I'm not doing this with you guys. I'm not. The red tomatoes die. All right, y'all. I'm about to get up out of here. We done been on here for over 2 hours. Thank you guys. It sounded like somebody was trying to block us from talking. Kicked us off the internet, but we came back on. So thank you all for the 750 that stayed on here and waited for us to come back. And it was over 900 that was in the chat. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're new here so that you can continue to engage in our lovely intellectual community. Thank you again for all of the people that have given the cash. I think I had a few cash apps. Thank you so much for the super chats and the super stickers. You guys rock. Thank you so much, Tyra, for the cash app. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next time.